Hi, I'm Brett Jennings, and for the last 12 years, I've traveled the country to meet, mentor, and mastermind with some of the brightest and best minds both inside and outside of real estate. I've taken those ideas, brought them back to our team of experts, and sold hundreds of homes per year all across Silicon Valley, and this is how we do it. Hey there, Brett Jennings here with Real Estate Experts, and wanted to share with you our first expert success stories. And here with Nneka Jenkins.
Hi.
I'm going to talk through a little bit about kind of what her journey has been as she's come along here at Real Estate Experts, both prior to coming to Real Estate Experts and along her journey here since she's been here. Achieved some phenomenal success in Nneka. So why don't we start out and just talk a little bit about kind of what your experience was prior to coming to Real Estate Experts. How did you actually get into real estate? And then what ultimately led you to make the commitment, because you did start out on a part-time basis, kind of what led you to the commitment to say, okay, I want to go full-time and I think that now is the time. What happened?
Yeah, I think to start, what got me into real estate was my husband. I think in general, he believed in me before I did, and he encouraged me to do it after I was helping a lot of friends and family just kind of on a consultative basis for real estate or property management or anything like that. So that's probably what pushed me into it more. I was doing it part-time. I worked in tech and I was working a lot. So I would do it on the side, and I loved the rehabilitation piece of it, right? The remodeling, which is why we kind of got along pretty early on. I loved helping friends and family remodel different properties, so that got me excited. And
you get the bug?
Yeah, I got the bug, and it was just more fun, and I found that I had a passion in it. And so anyway, I decided to go full time when this guy over here believed in me almost probably as much as my husband did. And so having someone that's been in the business for so long and had such tremendous success, coupled with my husband, who I trust with my life, both of them having that influence to encourage me to do something I'm so passionate about on a full-time basis. It was scary, but that's ultimately what pushed me into it.
Cool. Well, and for those of you who aren't familiar with Nneka, she is a rising star. You will, if you haven't seen her in the marketplace with her listings, or if you're a listing agent yourself, haven't come across her with one of your buyers, you probably will. But I want to kind of rewind for a minute and kind of go back to what was your background prior to real estate?
Sure.
And then what, when you first got in to real estate in your first year, we weren't working together. What was your primary methods of generating business at that time? And
before real estate, I was in medical devices.
Okay.
So I worked in operations management, which I loved. I still holds a special place in my heart. I still talk to a lot of people in that industry. So I was always just kind of that professional firefighter, helping the salespeople accomplish their goals by making sure that the product was ready and all that. So I never really saw myself in sales, but I think in my first year, when I kind of fell into it a little bit, I did pretty well, but it was all sphere of influence, and it was just kind of word of mouth, which felt good because it was people that I've had relationship with, maybe referring me or realizing, oh, you can help me with this or that. So it was that. A little bit of relocation, like we've talked about. So, but mostly sphere of influence.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so when we first connected, one of the things I recognized about you, it surprised me that you actually didn't have a strong sales background because, on your own, in your first year in the business, you did several transactions, mostly from sphere of influence. And what I know as a fact is that if someone's done a reasonable amount of sphere of influence and they have some sales skills, either they have a personality for sales or they've done well in sales, they're going to do exceptionally well in our environment. And you came on, I think it was right around the same time last year. It was March of 2018, and it was a little bit of not a struggle, but a little bit of, I had to kind of pull you out of your shell a little bit, just to really let go of that corporate
Mindset.
Yeah, the corporate umbilical cord, for lack of a better word, really, right? Like knowing that you would have that certainty in income that you had from your job. But you came in and like right out of the gate, you took to it. So what were some of the things here, like from a system standpoint? Let's talk about maybe like what were the best practices for productivity and opportunity, like lead flow and things that were really worked well for you. Because how many transactions did you do now in your first, between April of last year and the end of the year, your first real 9 months in the business, you did how many transactions?
I put 36 homes into escrow in 9 months last year. Yeah, so it was fun.
Phenomenal. And that it's exciting for me when I get to do this with people like yourself that one are talented and they're willing to work hard and leverage kind of what I created for myself is to kind of create a platform for you. So, but yeah, if you could talk a little bit about what was it that gave you the confidence to jump, and then once you got in to really kind of get your legs under you?
I think in general, the people I keep closest to me, I trust. And so once they tell me enough times and believe in me enough times, I think I finally just decided to believe it for myself. So that was one big thing. But I think ultimately coming over and why, I had been approached by other teams, other brokers before, and I think why this was important for me to come here and why I was the only one I considered is something about the way you coached me or in general. It was more about the whole person. I think you saw something in the fear in me about leaving that comfortable paycheck and predictability and stability. And I think knowing that I was coming to a team where the team leader was one that was not just concerned about each sale and where they come from and just that dollar. It was more about making sure that I stay well-rounded and, helping me with wealth management or, making sure like tomorrow pushing me to go to Tahoe to take some time off because I'll never do it on my own. So I think for me, that was a big piece of it. And then how we transitioned into coming here where I did 100% sphere of influence to much more than that. Not only did my sphere of influence grow because I think I started to present myself into the market as more of a professional that wasn't just doing it on the side. So my sphere of influence more than doubled as far as the transactions for last year. And then for lead-based lead generation here is just phenomenal. I think it's hard as a newer agent to establish yourself sometimes in this kind of market. It's extremely competitive. So I think it's important to align yourself with great partners in the business because when you go on that first listing appointment or even the 10th listing appointment, you're up against people that have had 50 listing appointments, in the past 2 years, 3 years. And I think sometimes it's important to be open to learning from those people that have really laid the groundwork for this market and to partner yourself so that you can learn from them and you can grow together. So the lead generation piece was a no-brainer. I thought that was going to be great because I never really had the problem converting, but I think I had some internal issues with believing that I could generate certain type of leads, right?
So I think that was like great. Dollar point.
Yeah, I had that limiting factor, limiting beliefs on that. So I think the lead generation piece was huge, and all I had to do was show up and make sure I was well versed in the market and my client that I'm going to be in front of, and having you by my side, whether you were physically there or just in the background, I think helped me gain the confidence that I needed in this type of market because that's what you're leading with is the confidence. Yeah,
that's awesome. I take a lot of that. Thank you for what you shared there because that's been my intention as both like once I got into real estate myself and then got to a certain level of production, I knew I did want to grow a team, and at some point I realized coaching is what I enjoyed the most doing, and so thank you for providing me that opportunity. But the thing that really excited me was to see how somebody could come in and leverage the systems too, not just the coaching, but the system. So what for you prior to coming to the team, kind of what was your business like as a business, or was it just kind of you had a Microsoft Outlook and then you had some contacts in there and you could work a sphere of influence when you got it, and what is it like now having, speak to systems a little bit?
Well, I had a cell phone and that was my system.
That was your CRM?
Yeah, I didn't have a CRM.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the systems here are amazing because it forces you to be more organized. I thought of myself as a pretty organized person, but it forces you to be more organized and put them in categories, and make sure you have drip set up and e-alerts for different clientele. And I think before then I really I was more in a reactive position. So when someone needed me or wanted my help or expertise in any way, then I reacted to it. But I was never kind of always ready. I was never making sure that they had market updates consistently just to know what's going on in the market. I'm a homeowner, and a lot of my friends are homeowners, and I want to know how much equity I'm building every quarter. I want to understand how the interest rates are affecting the market. So I think having that confidence to have systems built around my business that was all in my head and my cell phone made me a lot more productive, because there's things going on in the background that are helping me grow my business because you've helped me lay the groundwork for them, and then I can just let them flourish.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I mean, one of the things you mentioned was that your sphere of influence business actually doubled over the last year. And in some of the coaching I do for these mastermind groups for local agents outside of our real estate experts, and talking to some of those guys and gals, most of them, most agents who are what you and I would call successful agents out in the marketplace, they're doing somewhere between 5 and 20 transactions a year. About 95% of them, they get their business only from sphere of influence and open houses. And surprisingly, very few of them actually have a system around their sphere of influence. Right. And one of the things is I've been coaching some of those people, I said, if you just simply put a good system around your sphere of influence
100%.
Through, like what we talk about is all of your homeowners, your people in your sphere of influence who own a home, to put them on a monthly market update, which any good CRM should have that available to you. And then secondarily, because people do delete emails, unfortunately, having like a postcard, something print mail that they get from you that shows, 1, that you're in the business, 2, that you care about people, and that you're being successful. And then obviously you get to do some stuff on social media, but having just that system alone doubles people's production.
Absolutely.
So that was one of the things that was helpful for you. Now let's talk about this year, because this year, like, boom, some people have a great year their first year, and then they kind of like slow down when they come into their second year, which didn't happen for you. So we're still in the first quarter of 2019. And since the beginning of January, how many transactions now have you put into contract, pending and or sold?
16 pending or sold in a contract.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. So you're well on your pace to produce over $1 million in gross commissions in our second year working together. Yeah. And I'm thrilled to be able to help you do that. Let's see. What other things would we want to talk about that I could ask you is, like, do you have any advice for other agents who, like, kind of are in that realm where they know they could do more, but they're not quite sure how?
Yeah. One thing I kind of have the sphere of influence piece of it. I think I'm still even learning that and really letting that work for me. And I'll give you an example. I have really close friends out here that work still in the tech company that I left. And just 2 days ago, I'm helping 2 of my closest 4 friends out here. I'm helping 2 of them look for homes right now. Starting to get more aggressive, and one of them texted me 2 days ago and said, "Hey Nneka, can you set me up on," and she didn't call it an e-alert, but a search, an MLS search. And I said, and I literally responded, "Absolutely, of course I can," but I had to apologize because I said I purposely don't set up my friends on those things because I don't want them to feel that I'm being too pushy or anything like that. She's like, "Please hurry up and set me up on an e-alert." So I think one thing that we have to get past is understanding real estate is a relationship business. That's something he's taught me. And I've had to internalize it and really accept it, because my friends and my family are coming to me because they trust me. And it's not, they know who I am. So it's not about me just saying, "Hey, come buy a house from me just to buy it." They trust me. They know that I work hard. They know that I'm doing this 24/7, and you want someone that's in this full time that's going to help you buy one of the most expensive things in your life. So I think one thing that I'm constantly learning is, more often than not, my friends want to see that information from me. And so since they're my friends, I can ask them on what level that they see that. So when you have these systems set up there, all you do is put their information in and plug it in so that they can get reliable information, because I hear a lot, sometimes Zillow doesn't have this, or Redfin doesn't have this, or it's not real time, it's not fast. Our systems are fast and they're capable, and just having a CRM in place and trusting yourself and trusting your friends to appreciate that knowledge from you, I think is a huge lesson that I keep learning. That was 2 days ago, and I'm embarrassed to say that.
Cool. I mean, and that's part of it too. When you first coming, especially from a different profession, coming into real estate, you don't necessarily one of the sayings I'm saying now as I'm coaching people, I said, don't just be an agent, be an expert, right? Because at the level of expert, it's a mindset about kind of really becoming a master of the market, becoming the local market economist, and becoming that trusted resource for your sphere of influence, people you know and know of. And you've done a great job there, but it does take getting comfortable with that, and when you can lean on other people. It's not just me, right? We have over 100 years collective experience between all the people, seasoned agents that we have in the office. So to be able to lean on that is awesome. Let's talk future a little bit. What do you see is possible for you now both in real estate and then from a lifestyle perspective, because a lot of us who are business builders, we get out and then we push hard to get the income there, and then once you realize once the income starts to come, you're like, okay, cool. Now I can actually I can use this money and do some of these things that I want to do with my life. So what does the next few years look like for you?
Yeah, I think I'm excited about that. I think one thing you've helped me through coaching me for it's been a year now, is just helping me fine tune and having the proper people on my team. And I think as this real estate expert model is being refined, and I'm so excited for it, is I'm building my brand. I'm building my brand with a partnership of someone I trust that's been in the business for a really long time and done a lot of production, and I'm able to show the world what I'm capable of, and you've allowed me to see the importance of, making sure that team around me it's critical to your game. And so for me, making sure that assistant is in place, that buyer's agent, the right people are around me to grow that. It's reminding me that while I'm having fun doing real estate, because that's part of my thing, I really do love what I do. So sometimes you can, forget to take a break and go on a vacation. And I think when you have such a great system set up, and especially our admin staff are amazing, I don't feel scared about going on the 2-day trip to Tahoe we are, and feel like I can unplug. So I think that's important for anyone trying to grow their brand and grow their business. You still have to enjoy life while you're doing it, and when you have the proper system set up in place, you can do that.
Awesome. I'm again super thrilled that we're in partnership together. I'm excited to see the next chapter of your business as it progresses and unfolds, and it's really cool to be in partnership with people that also feel like the sky's the limit. So anything in closing that you want to share or say about real estate, life, business? As we wrap it up.
We have a lot of fun here. We really do. And anyone that knows me knows the smile is genuine. And we have a lot of fun here. I love the team. I love Brett. I love being here every day. I built a home office at home, and I'm never there because my husband's at work and he's helping run the business and all of that. So I really enjoy being here. So it's great to be here.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's one of the things. For those of you who don't know, I'm a big advocate of Tony Robbins. I worked for his company in the late 90s, and pretty much every single person in the organization has been through his Firewalk weekend. In fact, I think we've got one person who needs to go. So, but we try to bring that spirit of what we do to real estate, because it's a great business, and it's here to help us live a great life. So. Cool. Well, thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Nneka, for sharing the intimate details of your journey. And until we talk again, this is Nneka Jenkins and Brett Jennings saying, don't just be an agent, be an expert.